Couldn't read that.
Coach, if you would, just start us out with your thoughts about this afternoon's game.
Tons of credit to Fairmont. You know, I've said all year they were the preseason #1 pick in the league for a reason. You know, I don't, you know, I'm not in other people's practices. I'm not at their games. So, you know, I don't know what went on during the year that had them, you know, finish fourth. But, you know, obviously there's 6 seniors on that team. As I just told the girls in the locker room, almost the exact same starting lineup that started against us today started 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, when my assistant Tiani Kelly was playing. You know, and so they're a very, very experienced team, and it does not shock me at all. You know, there was a lot of people that were saying Charleston's going to be a team to watch in the tournament. And I think that we were, but I kept telling everybody, like, you wait and see what Fairmont does when the tournament rolls around. And that to me that's what seniors do. You know, things didn't necessarily go their way during the regular season, but they're playing like the preseason #1, and they completely outplayed us on both ends of the floor today.
Questions?
Just extra players, ask in the middle quarters, it seemed like the shooting became a little bit more difficult, that they seemed to make you guys miss. Was there something that you noticed that they were doing in the second and third quarters in particular?
I'm not sure, but we kind of did it to ourselves. We were turning the ball over, giving them easy transition buckets, and their momentum shifted from there every time, you know, we made a mistake. They were able to convert, and there was a stretch where we did get stops, but we just couldn't knock down shots sometimes, and we failed to get to the free throw line as much as we have been the past 2 games. We weren't knocking down our free throws either, so that played a big part of it. But we did kind of do it to ourselves with the turnovers, and we didn't play as hard as we did the last 2 games.
Jordan, when you had opportunities at layups, it just seems like it almost seemed like every time next layup you would push a little further out. They weren't giving you an angle to the basket more. If you know what I'm talking about, it just seemed like it wasn't quite as easy. What were they doing to force that?
The little floaters that I took going to the lane, I just shot it whenever I felt there was contact, but instead of looking for contact, I should have just went up through them stronger than I did, instead of, you know, just shooting it once I felt the bump. I know they're not going to call it all the time, so I should have just played through it.
Abby, obviously had nothing to do with the game, but I was all the way at the other end. Why did they call a flagrant? I'm just curious.
I have the explanation for it. I mean, they gave me the explanation if you want me to answer.
No, go ahead.
They said that she did not go for the ball. Now, I mean, I thought she had 2 hands on the ball when she did it, but that's not my decision to make. So I'll be glad. That's one of the first things I'm going to go watch on the video to see. I do think Abby fouled her hard, you know, going in, but to me, it looked like she went for the ball. But I didn't see the video replay. They did. They were pretty adamant that she did not go for the ball. Maybe she didn't. So, you know, they have a better angle on that video than I do, so we'll take a look. But that was the reason that was given. Wasn't because of anything drastic more than
That's what I was thinking. I couldn't imagine.
They just didn't feel like she went for the ball. So, you know, Abby's been involved in a few of those this week, you know, with some interesting things that go on. So, you know, but I you know, again, I didn't see anything personally till I watched the film. I didn't see anything wrong with what Abby did. I didn't have, as her coach, I didn't have an issue with anything that she did.
Well, on Wednesday, you know, she blocks her and she goes like this, and the girl she blocks happens to be right there.
Yeah.
I think it was just happenstance. They have to call it. I felt, but I don't think it was anything intentional.
Yeah, maybe she was too close to. I definitely don't think. I mean, Abby's gotten one of those this year for clapping in someone's face when she did go to someone's face and do it earlier in the year. But I know for a fact that she was not trying to do that on Wednesday or third. And maybe that was just like you said, where the person happened to be. But it is what it is. I mean, Abby's got some things when it comes to. Facial expressions and things like that she's got to work on. The look she has now is the look she has to have when calls are made on her, and then things will probably, and she'll get better. But that's, she's got a long time. Abby had a great tournament. She had an unbelievable tournament, and that's the thing that I want Abby to think about. That's the thing I'm going to think about when I think about Abby is how much she grew over these 3 days, not those 2 fouls.
Now, would you like to just talk about what you can take away from the tournament as a whole?
Definitely a learning experience. Last year we went out and won games, so this year just getting a win under my belt. Me being from West Virginia, never getting to play in the Civic Center really. My high school team was never good enough to make it, but so it's definitely been fun watching the team pull together, especially against Glenville when things were tough. We looked to each other rather than looking at ourselves. We really pulled together, and it was tough not seeing us do that today, but everything happens for a reason, so we'll be back next year.
What could you guys done differently, Adam? I know this is a pretty broad question, but I'm sure there were some things you felt, specific things that could have gone better.
Yeah, I just didn't feel I did before the game when we were all through shoot around this morning and breakfast and everything. I mean, I really felt like we were just ready to go and ready to play. And I thought so far in this tournament that we had competed harder than almost any team here, through the first 2 games, and we were diving on floors and, giving up no rebounds to Glenville and just doing those things. And I don't feel like we played very hard today, as we had been. I'm not exactly sure why. You never know what goes on. Tired, being tired. The lull. I mean, we have to do what we have to do in this conference tournament, but a lot of momentum. Wednesday and Thursday, and then you get the day off yesterday, which the day off rests your legs. But does it lower the momentum a little bit? Those type things, you never know. So just you don't know what things play into it that caused us to come out today and be a little more flat than we did. But I didn't think we were that great at the start of the Glenville game. But as Abby said, they really stuck together and fought through it. And today did not so as much, and it's maybe one round further, a little bit more at stake, so to speak. You never know. But I know this, that every girl in there, whatever mistakes they made, whether they be physical mistakes on the court, mental mistakes that they made on the court, whatever, those girls wanted to win. It may be misguided, but it came from a spot of we really want to win. It's just we're not very good when we try to win as 5 individuals wearing the same jersey. But when we play as a team, we're pretty darn good. We don't have very many, we don't even have very many close wins this year. We have 12 wins on the season by an average of 16 points a game. So when we play together, we're pretty darn good, and we've shown that this week, just how good we are. But today we did not necessarily play together, and we have really turned ourselves into an unbelievable defensive team that let them shoot 50% today. So we just did not play good defense, and to me that would be an effort and a focus thing. So that was it. I just think we could have competed harder, but all these girls wanted to win. There's nothing that they need to hang their head about.
All right, thank you so much.